Hello and welcome to this masterclass on the cost-output relationship. Today, we are going to embark on a journey deep into the heart of managerial economics. We will explore one of the most fundamental concepts that every successful manager, entrepreneur, and business leader must understand. This concept is the relationship between the costs a business incurs and the amount of product or service it produces. At its core, business is about creating value. But creating value is not free. Every single action a company takes, from hiring an employee to purchasing raw materials to running a marketing campaign, comes with an associated cost. Understanding these costs is not just an accounting exercise. It is the bedrock of strategic decision-making and the key to long-term profitability and survival in a competitive marketplace. Think about any company you admire, whether it's a giant technology firm like Apple, a fast food chain like McDonald's, or even a local coffee shop you frequent. Their success is not just built on having a great product, it is also built on an intricate and masterful understanding of their cost structure. They know precisely how their costs will change if they decide to produce one more iPhone, sell one more Big Mac, or brew one more cup of coffee. This knowledge allows them to set prices effectively, decide when to expand their operations, and determine how to compete against their rivals. Without this deep understanding, a business is essentially flying blind, making critical decisions based on guesswork rather than on solid economic principles. This module is designed to give you the vision to see and understand these critical relationships. At the very center of our discussion today is a single, fundamental question that every business must answer. How do our costs behave when we change our level of production? This question might sound simple on the surface, but the answer is incredibly nuanced and has profound implications for every aspect of a company's operations. Imagine you run a small bakery. If you decide to bake one extra dozen cookies, the additional cost might just be a little more flour, sugar, and chocolate chips. However, what if you decide to double your entire production from 500 cookies a day to 1,000? Now, the cost implications are much bigger. Then, what if you want to expand to producing 50,000 cookies a day to supply a national supermarket chain? The cost behavior changes completely once again. This simple example illustrates that the relationship between cost and output is not a static, linear one. It is a dynamic relationship that evolves as a firm grows. The study of this relationship provides a framework for classifying and analyzing costs. It forces us to move beyond thinking of cost as a single monolithic number on a spreadsheet. To properly analyze how costs behave, economists have developed a crucial conceptual framework that divides time into two distinct periods, the short run and the long run. It is extremely important to understand that these are not defined by a specific calendar duration like a month or a year. You cannot say the short run is 6 months and the long run is 5 years. Instead, these timelines are defined by the flexibility a firm has in changing its factors of production. These factors are the inputs used to create goods or services, such as labor, raw materials, machinery, and the physical factory itself. The short run is defined as a period of time during which at least one factor of production is fixed. For most businesses, the fixed factor is typically capital, things like the size of the factory, the office building, or major expensive machinery. The long run, in contrast, is defined as a period of time long enough for a firm to change all of its factors of production. In the long run, nothing is fixed. All costs become variable because the firm has sufficient time to make any and all adjustments it desires. The long run is therefore considered the planning horizon. It is the time frame in which managers make major strategic decisions about the future size and scope of the company. The study of the cost-output relationship is not just about understanding economic theory, it is about equipping managers with a powerful tool for making better, more profitable decisions. Think of this relationship as a manager's compass. One of the most immediate applications is in the area of pricing. To set a profitable price, a company must know its cost per unit. But as we've discussed, this cost is not constant, it changes as output changes. Furthermore, this concept is central to decisions about production levels and capacity planning. Every factory has an optimal output level where it operates most efficiently. Beyond day-to-day operations, the cost-output relationship is a cornerstone of long-term strategic planning. When a company considers a major capital investment, such as building a new plant or acquiring another company, it is fundamentally making a bet on its future cost structure. Now that we have established why this topic is so important, let's formally define our central concept. The cost-output relationship, in its simplest terms, is an economic analysis of how a firm's production costs change in response to a change in its level of output. It is a functional relationship that can be expressed as an equation, a table of data, or, as we will see, a set of curves on a graph. This relationship is fundamentally governed by two key economic principles, which correspond to the two timelines we discussed earlier. In the short run, the cost-output relationship is governed by the law of variable proportions, which is also famously known as the law of diminishing marginal returns. In the long run, the guiding principle is the concept of returns to scale. Since all inputs are variable in the long run, the firm is not just adding more labor to a fixed factory, it is changing the entire scale of its operation. To truly understand the cost-output relationship, we must first break down the concept of cost into its fundamental components. In managerial economics, we primarily categorize costs based on how they behave in relation to changes in output. Fixed costs are those expenses that do not change in total regardless of the level of output, at least within a certain range. They are the costs a business has to pay just to exist, even if it produces nothing at all. Variable costs, on the other hand, are costs that change in direct proportion to the level of output. As production increases, variable costs increase, and as production decreases, variable costs decrease. The sum of these two components gives us the firm's total cost. So, total cost equals total fixed costs plus total variable costs. This simple equation is the foundation of short-run cost analysis. It can be easy to view the concepts in this chapter, cost curves, returns to scale, and economic timelines, as abstract theories that exist only in textbooks and on classroom whiteboards. However, I want to emphasize that this could not be further from the truth. Think about the real-world decisions that hinge on these concepts. When Amazon decides where to build its next massive fulfillment center, it is making a multi-billion-dollar decision based on an analysis of economies of scale in logistics and distribution. Understanding these principles provides a powerful lens through which to view and interpret the real world of business. It translates directly into tangible skills that are highly valued in any career related to management, finance, strategy, or operations. This chapter is not just a chapter in a book. It is a foundational part of your professional toolkit that will serve you for the entirety of your career, helping you create value and drive success wherever you go. To ensure we navigate this crucial topic with clarity and purpose, I want to lay out a clear roadmap for our masterclass today. We will build our understanding step by step, starting with the foundational concepts and progressively moving toward more complex strategic applications. Our journey is structured into several distinct parts, each designed to deliver a key set of learning outcomes. This structured approach will ensure that you not only grasp each individual concept, but also see how they all fit together to form a cohesive and powerful framework for analysis. Then, we will turn our full attention to the star of this chapter, the long-run average cost curve. We will meticulously construct this curve, showing how it is derived from a series of short-run curves and explaining its role as a crucial planning curve for managers. Next, in what is perhaps the most critical part of our journey, we will dissect the famous U-shape of the long-run average cost curve. We will spend considerable time exploring the forces that cause costs to fall initially, the powerful concept of economies of scale. Finally, we will bring everything together by focusing on the practical application of the long-run average cost curve in managerial decision-making. We will discuss its key characteristics and show how managers use it to determine the optimal scale of their operations, to inform their pricing strategies, to guide long-term investment, and even to understand the competitive structure of their entire industry. By following this roadmap, we will move systematically from theory to application, ensuring you leave this masterclass with a deep and durable understanding of this essential economic principle.